Greetings to all my friends and fellow car enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video might be seen and shared. Saleen Driver once again. I'm bringing you another video in my Why I Did What I Did series with respect to my Saleen. I've shown videos on this car before, more generalized videos, and I've gotten a lot of different questions about why I did this or why I didn't do that or why I changed this and so on and so forth. So I thought I would focus on specific systems of the car and go over why I made the choices I made in more depth. And today we're covering the heartbeat of any car, the motivation, the motor, the engine, whatever you want to call it. In my case, this is a completely different motor than what the car was born with. Now, this car is a model year 2000 Saleen. The 99 to 04 cars were all the same body style. They basically had all the same engines in the base model and in the GT model. The base model had a 3.8 liter V6. The GT model had the 4.6 liter 2-valve, one intake, one exhaust, single overhead cam V8, making approximately 260 horsepower. That was what Ford rated it. Saleen didn't modify the motors very much. They did a set of pulleys, tweaks to the computer, one or two other minor changes, got 285 horsepower out of that motor. And that's the way this car was born. Now, of course, there was also the Mach 1 with the 4-valve twin cam motor, making, I think, 305 horsepower. There were the 99 and 01 Cobras with the twin cam 4-valve per cylinder motor, making 320 horsepower, although there were problems with the 99s. And then, of course, you had the 03 Terminator Cobras with the supercharged 390 horsepower, which was underrated, supercharged 4-valve per cylinder twin cam motor, which this is actually. The main reason that this car has a Terminator motor in it is because a shop that was dishonest in my town and took advantage of me when I was having back surgery, basically wrecked the 2-valve motor when I asked them to put high performance camshafts in the motor. And they basically screwed the motor up so badly that and we kept chasing, different shops kept chasing, trying to repair the motor, but the damage was internal, and it turned out to be ultimately fatal. So rather than putting in another 2-valve motor, the opportunity came about to buy this 2003 Terminator motor with I think about 20,000 miles on it, from a car that, if you look at my car, you see the rear window right there. A tree fell on it and basically turned the car into a V-shaped Hulk. And he parted the car out, and I got the motor. I bought the motor without the wiring harness, without the computer, because you can adapt, even though it's quote-unquote not the right way to do it. You can program a GT computer to run a Cobra motor. I know you can do it because I'm doing it right now. And you can modify the wiring harness ever so slightly to fit a Cobra motor. It's basically the same wiring harness, different ends on the fuel injectors, which is that blue thing right there, right there. That's a fuel injector. The Cobra motor from the factory uses a different injector connector than a GT motor. Of course, I've changed the injectors on this to fit a standard wiring harness while being a higher flow injector. I think we are using 75 pound injectors, whereas factory Cobra injector, I believe, is 48 pounds. We're also using a different throttle body. That's an AccuFab. I added the Cobra symbol, but that's an AccuFab throttle body. That's a C&L cold air kit with a A&E AEM dry filter. I don't use K&N filters on my cars because of the chance of oil getting onto the mass airflow sensor wiring and screwing the computer up. We have a catch can for any oil that gets blown through the intake. We have custom coil covers. Those are not, they cover the coils for the individual cylinders. That's the factory supercharger. It does not have a factory pulley on it. That was actually a pulley that was in a box. The engine came with many parts that were going to be put on the car before the tree fell on it. That throttle body, that pulley and idler pulley right there, a set of long tube headers from BBK were all in the box and not used, but were sold to me with the motor. So that's really the reason why I chose to put a Terminator motor into that was 3 years later born than the car itself, was because the GT motor that came with this car was wrecked by a crooked shop. And truth be known, you can modify a GT motor to make decent power, but your limitation is the cylinder heads. There are single overhead cam 2-valve cylinder heads. They will never breathe as well as these 4-valve per cylinder twin cam heads. So it made more sense to me to buy a factory supercharged motor rather than buy another GT motor and modify it and try and get the same amount of power. And it just made more sense financially, and it's a better performing motor because it's basically, with a few tweaks, it's basically the factory motor. And the way this motor, the Terminator motors are built, the bottom end is good for 750, 800 horsepower with no modification. So it's a tough motor. It can really it does what I want. I could change the supercharger to a Kenny Bell or a Blowzilla or a VMP blower and makes really stupid power. But, I have other things I need to spend my money on right now. And this car does plenty for me. And but that's why I chose to do this route. I mean, obviously, I kill the value of the car if you're worried about the trade-in value of the car and so on and so forth. With a non-stock, I guess you could argue it's a period correct motor, but it's obviously not the motor it was born with. Kills the value of the car. Oh yeah, and they even sign these motors. These are individually built on a niche line, and a team of 2 people build each of these motors, or did, and those are the 2 guys that built this motor. And it's a great motor, and it was well installed and well tuned. And I know everyone's going to ask for it. I'm going to take the battery tender off the car. and I'm going to give you a cold start. Have the keys right here. Now this engine is ice cold. It's about 60 degrees right now in sunny Central Florida. So this is going to be a cold start. I'll just walk over here. We're going through the passenger side since it's a little tight on the driver's side. And since we disabled the clutch interlock, I can do this without holding the clutch in. Stick is in neutral, parking brakes on. There's my mask. Let's see. We're going to power. You always have to, with this car, since it has twin fuel pumps, you always have to power the car to key on start, key on engine off, wait for the fuel pressure to reach above 40, and then you can start the car. There you go. She idles beautifully. She really does well around town. I wish you could smell it though. It smells wonderful. I think that's good enough. You can see the engine was cold. Yeah. I love the smell of that. Nice raw hydrocarbon. Take that, Prius driver. Thank you for saving all the gas that I can burn. Anyway, that's my overview of why I did what I did with respect to the motor in my Saleen Mustang. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Absolutely. The thumbs up does help the channel. It helps make the channel more searchable with respect to the YouTube algorithms. Comments, questions, suggestions below. I do read them all. I do respond to them all. However, if you're going to leave links in my comment section that take my viewers to bad places on the web, I will delete the comment and I will block the commenter. Also, if you're going to be a little troll, and I know this car brings out the trolls all the time, and you're going to be a nasty little cuss, and you're going to insult my baby, I'm going to delete the comment. I'm going to block you. If you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Glad you found the place. I hope you enjoy yourself. Please feel free to look around. I have videos on all kinds of subjects: college football, rants and raves, politics and society, watches, lots of watches, and of course my Saleen. Watch all the videos you want. All I ask is that before you leave, please click that subscribe button. And when you do, don't forget to click the bell icon so that when I upload more content to the channel, you are alerted. And likewise, when I do live streams, you will be alerted when those start, so you can come by and say hello, join the fun. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe, stay healthy. Be careful out there. I'll see you soon.